get what I said when you're me? People just wanna see if it's true, if it's you. What you say in your raps, what you do.
Tanks or healers? Which one of these roles are more important? Let's try and figure it out. Roll it.
Psst. Hey, listen.
Welcome back, your highnesses, distinguished guests, humans, non-humans, and prestigious, esteemed, honorable attendees. And let's not forget, as usual, the window lickers. They're so cute and they try so hard, don't they? I mean, they just need a kiss on the neck from a crocodile. Also, a huge thank you to Athena, Juice the Ninja, Fowlan, and Ant-Man for supporting me through channel memberships. I thought I was crazy.
And I told you that I'm crazy.
But you guys are crazier for spending money on me.
Whoa. You can't out-crazy me.
But I do appreciate it. I can finally buy that that keyboard I wanted. Shut up. You didn't hear anything. And you forgot about it already.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Oh, and to the rest of you, thank you for putting up with me. I'm having so much fun making these videos, and I'm feeling a very unusual sensation right now. And if it's not indigestion, I think it must be gratitude. I know where your minds went. You're all awesome. Yes, even you. Even you, my little angry hating munchkin. Thank you for being my unpaid therapist. So I asked this question in my Discord and on YouTube. If you had to choose one, just one of either the tank or the healer, which one is more important to groups? I purposely removed DPS classes from the topic because I wanted to focus more on support classes. Because don't get it fucked up, DPS classes are also important. Don't judge us just because we are damage whores and unstoppable letter X pressers, or even just because we run ahead of tanks and have anger management issues. It doesn't mean we have no value, man. Okay? Alright. As long as we understand each other. So as you can see, the votes are pretty close. Almost 50-50 with a slight winning edge for the healers. Out of a pretty decent amount of votes, I would say. Same seemed to be the case in my Discord. Split opinions for various valid reasons, supporting each role. In my 9 years of Neverwintering, I have noticed, depending on the meta at the time, that the scales would tip to one role's favor more than the other. For example, if you all remember back when clerics used to be broken with AA, which basically made you unkillable, and the tank almost seemed unnecessary, and they basically were. You could stand out in the open and not hide behind the ice at the last boss of Fangbreaker's Island and not get one shot. Or what about back when the Bubble Paladins were unkillable? And there are so many more examples depending on what module or meta you looked at, where either the tank or the healer was more important. And if you are a newish or newer player, I kind of feel a bit bad for you, for not being here back then to experience it. For me, those years were the golden years of Neverwinter. Broken or not, they were fun. Neverwinter had actual synergies and a thriving population. But what about now? What about 22, almost 23 modules later? Who is more important? For the sake of this argument, let's assume both the healer and the tank are at the same skill level, have all the best gear, and are basically equal. Which one holds more value to the groups? Granted, some dungeons, trials, or skirmishes can be done with or without one or the other, and which is more important can depend on what content you are actually running. Here's an example. If I was to do a 2-man Vault of Stars, which I have already completed twice already, what role would I prefer? If I pick the healer, there's no way I will survive. One way or another, I will be killed multiple times by either a huge amount of mobs, the boss is one-shotting me, or whatever else. But if I choose the tank, my survivability goes way up, since I can also use healthstones or potions wisely and survive a lot easier if I'm not being focused by everything in the dungeon. So, in that example and specific content, I personally think the tank is more important. Healers are vital and a huge part of every party, and healers also get tons of hate and unjustified rudeness considering they are here to support our dumbasses, and people should really be nicer to them. Granted, not all healers are nice. Some of them are absolute vindictive rage monsters that never forget, just like an elephant doesn't forget. They will not heal you and let you die without warning. So to avoid such atrocities, just be nice to them, even if you don't want to be. But that's not our main topic. Our topic is, are healers or tanks more important? Let's look at it in a much simpler way. If you ran every single skirmish, dungeon, or trial and only had 2 classes that could join the queue, one DPS and one support, which support do you automatically think of? I bet you anything the first thing any logical person would think is the tank. The tank keeps aggro off the squishy DPSers. Without the tank, all the DPS is doing is running, dodging, rolling, shadow slipping into banana peels, going invisible, shifting, and basically just trying to survive. Face tanking mobs can only last a few seconds for most, if not all, DPSers. But if it was a DPS and a healer, sure, the healer can heal you for a while until they can't keep up with all the damage that you are taking all the time. Plus, if you do that, you lose focus of the main objectives if all you are doing is trying to stay alive, instead of trying to kill bosses and reach objectives. I'm not saying it can't be done, because it can. It would just take tons of scrolls, lots of deaths, and way more time than you would like to invest. Trust me, as a player who enjoyed soloing content, back when I was doing my solo Infernal Citadels or Spell Plague or whatever, I never once thought during those times that, fuck, I wish I had a healer right now with me. What I was really thinking was, fuck, I wish I had a tank to take all this damn aggro off me so I can focus on killing shit. Plus nowadays there's health stones and healing companions. You know, the healing companions with the incoming healing. And if you use those, it diminishes some of the usefulness of the healers. Health stones, in my opinion, are simply overpowered. It's instant full health heals. Be honest, how many of you have ran with groups and healed yourself instead of waiting for the healer to heal you? Come on, don't lie. We all do it. And the healers know we do it because they see how our health suddenly fills up just as they were about to heal us, thus wasting their heals on us for nothing, which in turn makes them mad. Don't get me wrong, healers are incredible and need to be very skilled to keep up with all the dumb shit that we do, you know, like jumping all over the place. And they need to place their heals at the right place and trying to keep us all healthy. They're like our own personal Obamacare or Medicare or whatever you want to call it. But are they more important than tanks? Personally, even though it's close, I don't think so. The whole group of most parties, if not all, evolved around what the tank does. How he positions bosses, where he takes the mobs, how he avoids danger, and how he keeps aggro off the DPSers and the healers, and so on. He is the backbone of every group, and we all just have to admit it and be okay with it. At least in this meta, tanks are more important. If Hellstones didn't exist and some powers were different, healers could contend with a tank. But yeah, I don't think they can right now. Only the broken, insanely overpowered healers of the past with the insane AAs and exaltations and whatever else used to contend with the tank's overall importance. Imagine running RC with no tank. Hello? Hello? No, I wouldn't even try it, but I definitely would with a tank. I love both tanks and healers equally. They have saved my ass many times and I respect and appreciate them both. But if you sit back and remove your bias towards your favorite class and think about it with logical context, you know I'm right. And as a player who only mains a DPS class, trust me, I'm not being biased at all. But my answer goes against what the votes suggested in my community tab, and I gave you the example and reasons why. Healers are super important, but tanks are just slightly more important. They are what holds the groups together. They lead the way. How most groups perform overall depends hugely on the tank's performance. When a tank is out of the mix or dies, the group's probability of completing content goes down significantly more than when a healer dies. Because without a tank, all we are doing is running around trying to stay alive. But with a tank, we are focusing on objectives and completing content. Healers are also extremely important and groups do fail without them, especially when there's DOTs or poison damage or something that needs to be cleansed. So I am aware of how amazing they are. But my final opinion is tanks are more important than healers. And a general principle is the DPSers and healers can only fulfill their roles effectively if the tank does theirs. I gave you my reason, now give me yours. And keep in mind I'm not being hateful or disrespectful towards any of these roles. I love them both equally. Do you agree or disagree? And if so, why? Break it down for me. I really want to know everyone's perspective. Anyways, that's it for now. Gotta go make more videos for you fine folks. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.
Impressive. You will make excellent